beautiful co-creators. Lilu here on the magnificent island of Kauai. I definitely cannot get enough. And this is another beautiful co-creator that I just met. It was Francesco. Hello.
Hello, Lilu. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is beautiful.
Thank you. I really feel the energy of this land and your own energy and your commitment to help this world and to assist it, I should say. And you're a Qigong instructor, author, entrepreneur. You have done so much, and you have planted all these trees around. These are your babies.
These are the babies everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we get called to come to a place and we don't always know why. And this land here was brought to me in the rain. Imagine a rainy, cold day, as cold as it could be on Kauai. And my friend said, you must look at this place. And I saw through the rain. I saw through the cow pasture. I saw through it. And somewhere under there, I saw this botanical garden healing space. You don't know why. How can you see these things, you know? But I was so grateful because that's the vision that was in this land. I find out later from some kumu hula, which is a hula teachers on the island, they told me that this land was blessed many, many years ago before the cow pasture, that it would be used for healing because that was the ancient intention of this place. How do we know these things? What is it in our heart that has that voice that tells us? And this is what we sometimes forget to trust, yeah?
What's extraordinary about your journey is that you were able to combine, you have created successful companies and businesses that are supporting the school system, as we were talking about, organizations through software and through bringing community together. And I just love that you're living in this new paradigm. You're an example of how we can integrate everything, healing, helping, connecting. Tell us more about that vision that you have, like really the deep part of that vision.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh? Because we think if we're in nonprofit, we can't make a profit. We think if we're in this world and we have to do something spiritual and something good, that it has to be without money. But when I was in university and 18 years old, and this old 81-year-old master pulled me out of university and says, Francesco, you're never going to learn anything here. You've got to come with me and learn in a clinic setting and really see what energy healing's all about. And that's what I wanted. Even though I went to school to be a doctor, I wanted to really learn what it meant to connect on a soul level, what it was to heal with energy and to work with energy, knowing that we are energy, right? All of a sudden I go to Hawaii. This was in the 70s, 18-room mansion on the beach, 400 feet of beachfront property. And I'm thinking, this doesn't look like a scarcity-based fear model of healing. This looks like you can do it all. And so having that teacher really show me, you need to do it with abundance, and it can't be just words. And if you really enter the spiritual path, it doesn't exclude anything, right? It's like, if we are doing this work, you need to be the idea and the expression of a dreamer who is awake in an infinite universe. Not just like say it in words and then live this tortured life, right? The life of the artist, the life of the healer. We have to change that. There's so many beautiful people with healing abilities, so many people who have this vision, and all we have to do is make a little shift into abundance, to trust that we're dreaming this. We're dreaming awake in an infinite universe. And if that's really what you say, can you live it?
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the big part. Tell us about that shift. Tell us about that small little shift. What is it? I don't know you want to see this. Yeah, we want to hear it.
Yeah, I think the shift.
Nana is here with us.
Nana is part of that shift. Nana is all about trusting to be present. You know, what do animals tell us? What do our pets tell us? To be present. And in that presence, we get this input about what it means to be alive.
You want to juice Nana?
Good boy, Nana. Nana loves touch. Nana is really good at being present. I think we have to redefine who we are.
Yeah.
Nana has no issue about who he is.
No.
He's a love creature in a space where he totally receives. He has no issue at receiving. And I think we sometimes have a problem receiving as humans. You know, we can talk about all this great, I'm a giver, I'm a healer, I can do so much for others, but we don't always have that definition of self about what does it mean to receive. Yeah. If we live in an infinite universe, that means we have total access to this infinite resource around us. Some cultures call it chi, like China, and in Hawaii we call it mana, in India prana. All these different ideas that say we are living in an infinite universe.
I love it. There's so much love in this kawaii interview.
Nana boy. So how do we shift that in ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, how do we say, okay, it's not just the words, it's not just some kind of spiritual game I'm playing, it's not just some theory, but it's something where I am willing to redefine myself and say, yes, I am energy. Not just here, but here. And as energy, what does the quantum physicists tell us? We are integrally connected to every atom in the universe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're saying, and that's what the spiritual masters have been saying for centuries, millennia. So how do I incorporate that into every day? And I think it's a daily redefinition of self to say, yes, I am dreaming awake. That's what the quantum physicists have always said, that the observer affects the outcome of the experiment.
Yeah.
Guess what? This is an experiment.
Yeah.
How are we doing in this experiment?
Yeah.
You know? And if I affect the outcome of this experiment with just my participation, just my presence, just my consciousness, then I've got to be responsible for every thought I carry, every lick I make, everything I do becomes part of this dreaming.
Yeah.
And I'm awake in this dream. And I think that's the biggest thing. When we get that, and it's not just words, but it's truly to say, I live in a choiceful universe. I live in a choiceful, abundant universe. And by making that choice and to choose, wow, I'm going to accept that part of being energy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to part of being an energetic consciousness in an infinite consciousness. Mm-hmm. It's not separate from me. It is me.
Yeah. It is. This is so wonderful, so wonderful conversation and so helpful. And I already feel the shift in me just hearing this, and I'm sure people watching. So we know that, and there is those blockages. There's we need to. What do we need? Is there some practices? I know you instruct Qigong. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what's happening with the Qigong, for example, that makes you, because it feels like we still need to remind ourselves, and there's some kind of discipline that need to take place.
I think so. I want people to always feel that you already are born with this intelligence, with this mastery inside you. You know, that shaman is alive and well inside each of us.
We're the masters.
We are the masters, but we go outside for inspiration. Yeah. And I really want people to get into that place where they stop having to look outside for an answer or a solution or a technique. Yeah, there are answers and solutions and techniques, but only in the sense of opening us up and redefining what we've held as a belief system. Mm-hmm. Because I think the one real thing we need to shift us, which helps so many people, and it's so simple we forget, is gratitude.
Yeah.
All right? What does that mean? It means when I meet that edge of trust, when I get to that place where I meet a frustration or a disease or some kind of a limit or a lack of confidence or a problem, we tend to meet it with, what's the solution? How do I fix this? Mm-hmm. How do I deal with managing that anger? How do I overcome this fear? None of it says to me, thank you for showing me this edge. Mm-hmm. And when we have that gratitude, all of a sudden it brings us into presence. And when we come into presence, we access that power. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest technique we need to learn. And Qigong and exercises like that are really about bringing us into presence. Somebody loves you.
Nana.
Nana's representing all your viewers. Everybody who appreciates what you're doing. It's really funny.
It's the gratitude flowing.
Yeah. Nana is full gratitude. Nana is, you give him a little piece of chicken and he's in total gratitude.
Tell us how you met Nana.
Nana was a little blessing because here on this big property right up against a state forest with lots of wild pigs and wild animals, we needed somebody to kind of be the guardian of keeping the pigs from ruining the gardens. And so I went to the Humane Society and I stood in front of like 50 cages. You know how it is in those humane societies. And I started talking really calm. And I talked to all of them. I said, okay, this is a job interview, you guys. And we have a really important job available up at Kahuna Valley, if you're willing, and who's willing. And they were barking, and slowly they started stopping barking. And who didn't stop barking? Nana, as I kept talking about the pigs, and you're not going to get any sleep at night, and it's going to really be a focused, present, spiritual journey. He kept barking. And when I said, you got the job, he stopped barking. And all the workers at the Humane Society here in Kauai just started laughing so hard. And they said, I've never seen it done that way before, but it worked. And Nana has become like the perfect balance, the harmony between a love dog and a guardian. You see how sensual he is, but you got to see him when he comes up against the pig. But he doesn't do it in a violent way. He does it in like this most honoring way. I've never seen anything like it. And these big 180-pound pigs just back off, and it works. He's a good teacher, this guy.
I just love it from the interview this morning, and now what you're telling us is like it's all in the questioning and the opening and just being there and present instead of knowing, oh, it's going to be this or this way. You allowed it to come to you. You allow Nana to come to you and everything, as a matter of fact, probably.
Exactly. And that's part of the choiceful universe. It's I love to shift in myself. I get away from these ideas of balance now. Instead of balance, I use the word harmony. I'm watching all the words that we use that put us into a duality. Like when I think about manifesting, all of a sudden it's me and that thing out there. When I think about a law of attraction, I'm thinking about what has that been doing to me? Because I'm thinking I have to attract something out there to me. Yeah. So I'm really working in these years now of redefining the worldview I carry. And how can I start opening and opening and opening, become more inclusive? Because if the quantum physicists tell us that we are a part of an energetic field, we are connected to every atom in this universe. Nothing's outside of us. So I've got to shift that gaming of my mind, that belief system that says, I need that out there in here. Every time I say I want something, I'm telling the universe I'm without it. So I want to change that language to say, I am immersed in an infinite universe. And in that immersion, gratitude is an immersion, right? When I thank you for something, I welcome you into my space. When Nana is in his gratitude, we are one. Look at him. He's on your lap. There's no sense of boundaries because he realizes there's that energetic of being connected. And that's what community is all about. That's what you're building with all your interviews. It's all about how do we build that community worldwide. Yeah.
And that's really inspiring, and I know you have a strong commitment for building community, and you're creating a tool that I myself am very interested right now to talk more with you about, because it is about all of us coming together, and the internet is a wonderful space for that, isn't it? Yeah. Tell us about your vision of community. What is it? What does it mean for you, and how can this transform the world?
I think if we are really immersed in presence, then we must accept completely what our dreaming looks like right now. And we live in a dreaming with this amazing internet system that has evolved over these last 30 years that gives us access that the spiritual masters always talked about, right? We always knew we had this connection with each other. This is manifest in a physical form because, well, maybe we're a little slow in getting the spiritual parts. We've got it delivered on a silver platter. If this is what's delivered to us, then how do we use it completely? When something comes into your life, how willing are you to accept it and then integrate it? So I think integrating the technologies in a real harmonious way, not in a balanced way. Oh yeah, I used 2 hours on the computer and 2 hours in nature. That can be less harmonious than just saying, I trust where I am. I trust how I connect with others and use these tools that are available to me. So I've been developing some of these software tools because it's Qigong, it's energy. You know, I can teach Qigong, and people say, how can you teach Qigong around the world and have all this kind of DVDs and books and still do software technology? Well, because it's the same. It's all the same. Nothing is outside of this infinite dreaming. So this tool that I've been developing with Wuji Tech is a really cool software system for building community. And I've been donating to the school system for years, where we get hundreds of kids who the teachers say they're never going to answer these questions that you're posing to them. They're never going to spend time on the computer. You know, they're not interested in these things. And guess what? We can't get the kids off of it. And they're revealing things on the computer that they won't to their counselors, that they won't to their parents, that they won't even to their other siblings or their peers. Because we live in a dreaming that right now technology is taking the bridging responsibility. It's okay. Don't tell me we have to go out into nature. I mean, that's beautiful. I love nature, and this is part of us. But if a tool has been presented to us like technology, let's use it. Just like this delivery of these videos. How cool is that? People would never get it otherwise. So
Facebook participating hugely. I mean, when I see videos like on 13,000 walls within hours, I mean, this is so cool. Exactly. This is, thank God for the internet. If we don't get sucked in, though, there's a right balance.
So keep it, So keep it in that place of harmony. Keep it in that place where I'm doing it with intention. And that's, I think, the big thing. Can you stay in your presence when you go on Facebook? When you do your posts, does it become this automatic responsibility? I have to post, or is it, I'm going to take it like a meditation. So I do the software like a meditation for me. So when I present this software to a school system, like we have the whole Department of Education here on this school system website, it's more than a website. It's a way to transparently bridge communication. It's a way to start erasing the boundaries between business and school and kids and teachers and the police department and teenagers, and all of a sudden we can use these technologies to heal. And I love that. And I think if we enter into them in a really conscious way, they become a reflection of your resonance that you carry. So the resonance that Lilu carries in what you do every day is what comes out in the videos. It's what comes out in your web offerings. That's what we all have to remember. Just like, remember Masaru Emoto from Japan did with water? He came to this place actually, and he loved the water here at Kahuna Valley. His work is so beautiful because he says, where does your intention affect the world? And he used water, which is so common, and so beautiful. Our prayers, our intentions change the way water freezes and the crystalline formation it creates. We're 75% water, every plant is water. How do we look at our intention?
What is your prayer, your deepest prayer, intention?
My deepest prayer is that we remember how connected we are, and that we aren't the 99%, but we are the 100%. And just that 1% separation that people have been talking about, of saying that 1% controls me, my deepest prayer is that people expand that 99% to say, I am the 100%. And whatever I've been putting outside myself as a outside force that's been screwing my life around, that's the edge that I want to wrap in gratitude and say that even that 1% I have influence over, because it's not outside myself. As long as it's outside ourselves, we're never going to win the battle. Change the rules. And that's what I guess my biggest prayer is, and that's why I love community building, that we bring us together and we find, just like at the newspaper, Kauai newspaper yesterday had the most beautiful article by the chief of police. And we're thinking, chief of police talking spirituality? Yes. Because when people come together in a loving way, you start seeing the game changers. And everybody wants to rise to their highest level. And we have to bring that up, and we can't do it with separation. We have to do it with integration.
So what is some of a question or something we can tell ourselves when that 1% comes up, and when there is this darkness that we feel is outside, and how do we shift that to be really that full 100%?
It takes courage. And courage is heart. C-O-U-R, part of courage is the kure, right? Heart.
Cœur.
Of course. So you have to have the heart to say, am I choosing? No. Am I choosing the victim role? Am I picking scarcity over integration? Am I picking scarcity over abundance? Am I choosing isolation versus integration? That's the big thing. And I think if we catch ourselves when we see this, and we know there's people doing bad stuff, we know there's selfish people in the world, there's greed, that's human nature, and that's just the nature of humans who are going to take advantage of a situation. But guess what? They can only take advantage of situations that we let them. If you don't invest money in systems that will bring you down and bring you part of that game, you can't be hurt. Okay? The only people who got hurt from these economic systems were people who put their trust in somebody outside themselves. We got to change that game. We got to bring the trust back in. And that's the beautiful part of this Occupy Wall Street and Occupy Kauai, where people are saying, what do we do to bring back home the responsibility? And I think we can do that.
Let's bring it back home,
Yeah, bring it back home and say, you know what? I can't change the greed of human nature. I can't change people who are going to take advantage, but I can disengage with them. I don't have to eat at McDonald's. I can't complain about them and make them the bad guys. They're doing what they're doing, and it's going to serve the people who want to support them. But I can make choices to pull back that responsibility into my presence, into my joy, into my love and compassion. And if we all do that, I think we can really bring democracy back to a whole nother place. But it's to say, I am energy. This is all a dream. This is all energy. And I can affect this. I influence that energy with everything I think, eat, speak, feel, hold in my spirit.
Thank you, Francesco. That was amazing. What an empowering, inspiring conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lilo. Thank you for being who you are. And thank you, Nana, for being who you are.
Nana, thank you, Nana. Love you, Nana. Isn't he awesome? Oh, yeah. No, Nana. Well, much love, my beautiful co-creators from beautiful Kauai. Another juicy video. Please make sure you share these. This is awesome. Thank you for your support, love, and creativity. Bye. Thank you.